YouTube, it's Satch. Welcome to Driver 81. Welcome to the cockpit of this 2016 Vauxhall or Opel Astra K. I've done a video on 5 things that I like about this car. I've done a video on 5 things that I hate about this car, and I thought it'd only be right to show you a video on things that will break on this car or are common faults on this car. Common faults is probably a better description. So we'll get straight into it. One of the main complaints that a lot of owners have complained about is the fact that the automatic headlight systems do not seem to play ball and work exactly as they should. For example, if you get the slightest bit shadow, the lights will come on. However, if you're in broad daylight, gleaming sunshine, they take a while to actually go off. So I would say that overly sensitive when turning on, but extremely unsensitive when it comes to turning off. And that is, as I say, one of the main complaints that owners have about this car. Not a great problem, so to speak. It's more annoying for the owners. Alright, so the next common problem with the Astra K is something which is actually an option from the factory, and it's once it's installed into the car, I don't believe you can actually turn it off, and it is the forward collision alert. Now, I've been driving this car now for about 2 or 3 days, and obviously if you know what the collision alert is, it's a set of LEDs which will flash, and also you'll get a beeping noise to show that the car is about to hit something and you need to take action. Well, in fact, this has happened quite a few times for myself, and I've been absolutely nowhere near anybody. I couldn't even put it down to somebody crossing the road or approaching a car. It's just, I did catch it on camera once.
Did you get it? Did you? What if you think you know?
And there was absolutely nothing there to suggest that the collision advice needed to be there at all. So that is a problem. It's a £750 option. Now, there's not a lot you can do if you're buying this car second hand. However, if you are buying this car brand new, which they are still in production, they've only been out for a year or so, then my recommendation would be to not go for the anti-collision, because it's just a bit of a waste of time, really. Especially if you're sitting in traffic and somebody, or you're sitting parked up or the engine's on and somebody was to walk past or a cyclist was to come back, you're always going to get these beeps and the LEDs flash. Alright, to my knowledge, there have been a couple of vehicle recalls. The first one is for the steering rack. The steering column or rack needs to be completely replaced, and that will be done at no charge or no cost to yourself, because Vauxhall or Opel have identified it as a problem from the manufacturing point of view, so that's good that you don't have to pay for it. So it's worth checking with your local dealer to see if your car is it needs to be done, and obviously get it booked in if it needs to be done. The second vehicle recall is with regards to the front passenger's airbag, and this is relating to the Astra K and the Mariva as well, and basically it's not activating as and when it should. So again, check with your dealer to make sure that A, your car is covered, and B, the work has or hasn't been carried out, and take the appropriate action. Alright, the next thing on the list is the dash clusters and Speedos just completely failing. I've seen a lot of this on internet forums whereby the dashboards have just completely failed. Now, I know things can get blown out of proportion, and I know that once you read something online you automatically think that it's happening to all of the cars. Well, the chances are it's probably not. It's probably quite a minority of cars that are actually affected by it. But as I say, the dashboard and the Speedos and the lights and everything, they just completely die. So there's not a lot you can do about that. There's no way to prevent that from happening. It's either going to die or it's not. So it's just another one of those things that has been failing. Alright, and the final thing on the list, this is quite a strange one, and nobody seems to be 100% sure about why it happened. But basically, when they were being produced, well, still are, the Sport Tourer and the hatchback, the 1.4 turbo models, they actually suspended production of these. Now, if you ask Vauxhall or Opel dealer, they won't give you a clear answer on this as to why this happened. Apparently there was an issue, well, there's either an issue with the M22 or the M32 gearbox, which is fitted into the 1.4 turbos, or they stopped producing them because there was a problem with the supply of the parts. So I don't know if they've had a problem with the supply of the parts and then fixed that problem by going to a different supplier, or the suppliers were just running behind. All we know is that they stopped production on them with immediate effect, but now it's up and running again. So they haven't, like I say, they haven't released anything as to whether it was a problem with the vehicles. I suspect if it was a problem, then they would have issued a vehicle recall and to get those cars in and fixed. So there might be a gap in production for the 1.4 turbo Sport Tourer and hatchback models. So that's it. That's the only information I have with regards to this vehicle. Now, it's only been on the market for about maximum 2 years, so I'm sure as the years go on and as the cars get older, more faults will develop, but there's no way of knowing what those faults will be until we let time, run its course. So I hope it's been helpful for you if you are looking to buy one of these Astra turbos. This is the SRI 1.4 turbo that we're in now, so it's 150 brake horsepower. But it's as far as the car goes, if you are looking to buy one, then I would say performance-wise, it's great. Looks-wise, it looks better than the previous Astras. Quality-wise, interior feel-wise, I'm not that impressed. Comfort, suspension, rattles, creaks, not good at all. But that's for another story. Watch the 5 things that I hate about this car, and you'll see them on that video there. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.